Yes, hi, Dr. Joe. Uh, Question. My
Yes.
husband was just recently diagnosed with stage 3 kidney disease,
Yep.
and I wanted to know, is that reversal, and what does that mean as far as what he has to do to try to correct it, or how close is he to having to go on
Yeah.
dialysis?
Yeah, it's funny. When I first got in practice many years ago, hardly ever saw a kidney patient, and now I see 2, 3 a week. I mean, it really is becoming an
Uh-huh.
issue, and so there's something different now than there was even just 10 or 20 years ago. So a couple of things I
Mm-hmm.
recommend for kidney patients. Continue with your medical treatment, of course. First, we check the nerves in the mid-back. The lower mid-back is the nerve supply to the kidney. So from a chiropractic standpoint, we always want to check the nerves because the nerves control everything. So we'll check the nerve to the kidneys. Number two, we got to get them off heavy proteins, which would be animal proteins, meat, butter, cheese, yogurt, eggs, ice cream. Got to get them off that. That's such a strain on the kidneys to try to break them down. He's got to
Well, he
drink.
doesn't do meat.
Okay,
He
good.
doesn't do meat, and he doesn't do ice cream and stuff like that. He's a very advocate listener to you. He's changed a lot.
Good.
But I will say this. He's been on dark sodas, diet sodas for a long time, and he does have high blood pressure.
Okay. All right. The number one thing everyone needs to give up right now, if I had to give you one thing across the board, it's diet sodas and artificial sweeteners. Because especially the colas have phosphoric acid, and that's like pouring like an acid into your kidneys, just eating away at the kidneys. Plus, the artificial sweeteners have adverse side effects on the nervous system. So he's gotta give them up. Now, there are sodas sweetened with stevia. He can do stevia sweetened sodas, and that would be fine. Not colas because they have caffeine, which is an acid. He's also got to give up the caffeine. He's got to give up the acid foods in his diet. Things like Dr. Joe's Super Greens, Dr. Joe's Essential Source are loaded with nutrients, and they also alkalize the system. And right now, we've got to get
Yes, I have some of that.
perfect.
And he doesn't, yeah, he hasn't attempted to drink that, but okay.
You tell him I said so, and if not, I'm going to come to his house. Tell him. I'm a big, tough Italian guy,
Okay.
so tell him he's got to get nervous now. But yeah, Super
Okay.
Greens, an essential source. No acids, coffees, the animal products. Drink the water that's appropriate according to his doctors, and then check the nerve supply, and then hopefully the kidneys, we stop the damage from getting any worse, and may heal a little bit. But if he's already at stage 3 and he goes to stage 4, things are not pretty. So he's got to get serious about this.
Oh, okay.
All right.
So I didn't know if you or not. Maybe if he hear it come directly from you face to face, he may think about it seriously.
You bring him into our Marriott office, and I'll sit down with him personally. How about that, Belinda?
Okay, I will, because he loves you, Dr. Joe. He listens to you all the time.
Well, he's a smart. He's got great taste in women, and he's a very smart man. So you hang on to that guy. So.
Oh.
All right.
Okay.
I'll see you soon,
I'll
Belinda.
make an appointment.
Do it tomorrow.
Thank you.
Thanks. And folks, if you do want to make an appointment, just dial 844-44 Joe. That number rings through to my offices during business hours. But right now, if you have healthcare questions, you can call 844-44 Joe, and we hopefully get you on the air if you have a good question. If you don't have a good question, we're not going to put you on the air. So we're talking about CBD oil and how it works. And again, there's CB1 receptors, which are on the brain and spinal cord. And then there's CB2 receptors that are in what's called the peripheral nerves. Now, for example, endocannabinoids might target CB1 receptors in the spinal nerves, and that might help with pain. And it does seem to work pretty well with pain. But again, it's not treating the cause, it's treating the symptoms. Chiropractic care, along with the CBD oil, is the combination that I'm recommending. Other cannabinoids might bind to CB2 receptors in your immune system if you experience inflammation. And a common sign of autoimmune diseases is inflammation. And that's why when somebody said might it help asthma, well, it can help inflammation, which then might indirectly help the asthma. Now, enzymes are responsible for breaking down the endocannabinoids, like we said earlier, once they've carried out their function. So the endocannabinoid, the chemical that we find in CBD oil, or you produce it internally, either way, it does its job. Then an enzyme comes in and stops it from doing its job. It breaks it down. So there's two main enzymes. One of them breaks down the one chemical, the CBD, the one thing that interacts with the body, and the other one breaks down the other one. So I'm not going to give you all the chemical names here. That's why I'm stuttering here. I was going to give you the chemical names, but you're only going to get confused. So the endocannabinoids, complicated. Again, I promise you in a year or two, we're going to have another show on this, and it's going to be a very different topic. Not different topic, but more in depth. We're going to find out more information about it. But research in the endocannabinoid system, it's linked to appetite, metabolism, chronic pain, inflammation, mood swings, Motor control, which is your movement, sleep, cardiovascular system, muscle, liver function, reproductive system, stress, skin and nerve function. So the endocannabinoid system is designed to maintain the body in what's called homeostasis. We're going to talk about that when we come back. If you have any questions, folks, give us a call, 844-44-DR-JOE. Our website, drjoe.com, drjoe.com, over 1,000 hours of podcasts. Again, the minimum supplements you should be taking every day are Super Greens and Essential Source. Those are on the website, drjoe.com. Today we're talking about our new product. It's a hemp oil, which has the CBD oil in it, and it's an organic one. Make sure if you're going to get it, always get the best, especially with the CBD oil. Don't get the cheap stuff. It's not going to work. It may even be toxic. So the website's there 24 hours a day, drjoe.com. If you want to make an appointment, you can do that too. I'm Dr. Joe Esposito. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. Does this sound like you? Neck pain, back pain, shoulder pain, headaches? Chances are you'd benefit from chiropractic care. Most people benefit from chiropractic care because chiropractic care tries to get to the cause of your problems and not just cover up the symptoms. Working? If you're ready to get well, I want you to go to my website, drjoe.com, or call 844-44-DR-JOE and make an appointment for you, your friends, and your family today. We have offices in Marietta, Duluth, and Stockbridge. Make an appointment today so we can help get you well and keep you well. All right.
I'm going to have Josh take a look at it. It was having a weird background process that was taken over.
Weird.
Okay, so
Yes.
would a THC, would a CBD oil or our hemp oil affect appetite?
Yes.
And
It can affect.
can affect.
Can't say will. Never say will. I worry when doctors say will. But anybody says will. So...
And it can affect appetite. Why?
What CBD does, it creates homeostasis. Homeostasis, balance. So right now, I'm healthy, I'm happy, my brain's working great. Garrett comes up, pops me in the head. Okay? I've got my eye really hurts really bad. So now my body wants, what?
I'd be happy to.
Come on over here. Come on. One round, me and you. That's it. Come on, you young whippersnapper. So, so my body wants to go back to where it was before Garrett hit me. So what happens is the endocannabinoid system kicks in, the nervous system kicks in, the inflammatory system kicks in, and everything is trying to bring the body back to homeostasis or balance. And so with people that are taking chemotherapy, many times they lose their appetite. And so what we're finding with the CBD, it can actually stimulate the appetite. But with people that eat too much, it can actually help suppress the appetite. So it kind of works to bring the body back to where it needs to be. So that's how it affects the appetite, because it brings the body back to homeostasis.
Now, has any decision been made yet on the next live lounge topic? Surviving the holidays or New Year, New Me?
No, surviving the holidays.
Awesome.
And it's going to be, our tentative date is the 16th?
I believe it is the 16th.
It's a Wednesday. It's 2 Wednesdays before Thanksgiving. So the 16th or the 13th. What I just told you, Louis. What was it? I don't remember.
I thought it was a little earlier than that. Was it
Okay.
13th, I thought you said?
Maybe the 13th, yeah.
Yeah.
And hopefully,
It's a Wednesday.
we're trying to get it up into the TV studios upstairs so we can have a bigger audience. Because last time everybody got mad, we only had about 30 or 40 people in there, and everybody got upset. So we're trying, I'm trying to twist my bosses in TV. I'm trying to twist their arm to see if we can do it upstairs at the TV station. So the answer is maybe. But it looks like it's going to happen. We got to get all the logistics worked out, but it should happen, yes. You'll be hearing more about it. Surviving the holidays. And I was told wear a black T-shirt next time.
Yeah, black V-neck, like the...
Black V-neck, like the book, yes.
Oh, yeah.
So a black V-neck and jacket? No jacket? What do you think?
No jacket.
Just a T-shirt?
The black T-shirt.
Kind of naked like that. Kind of weird.
Is that what looks good on camera? I guess it kind of does, right?
That's
In
what
the studio lights?
one of our TV producers said that. They said,
Okay.
you had a jacket and a casual shirt, and you kind of didn't match. You didn't quite go together. So I know. I got so many people keeping me now. Do this, do that. So what else you got? Any other questions? Facebook? Anything?
Just a lot of people rejoining saying hi.
Oh, okay. That they blew us off.
And Misty was saying, yay, I think in response to the live lounge coming up.
Okay.
Next couple months.
But we'll invite everybody but Misty. Don't tell her, okay? But we're not going to invite Misty. Because she'll be bringing the bunnies with her, and it's going to be messy.
Can you imagine?
Just don't tell
I
Misty
think
we're not
what's
going to
being
invite.
asked is, does our hemp oil have THC? And no, there's zero THC.
Right, there's zero detectable THC in it. So
The
that's
proper definition of what we have would most likely be it's a hemp seed oil as the suspension, or is used for the suspension of CBD.
Right. The CBD comes from the flowers, but it does, and the seeds, but it doesn't come from the. No, the seeds is the hemp oil, right?
The seeds of the hemp oil,
Right.
and the actual flowers are what go into making.
That's where you get your
CBD.
cannabinoids, right? So we extract out both and then put them back together again. Yeah. So
it makes for a really light, thin liquid.
Mm-hmm.
It's almost like water.
Slight flavor to it.
Yeah, it's a lot less flavored than a lot of the other kinds I've tried.
And it's organic, so we got to make sure it's organic. Otherwise, you're going to get pesticides, and so you got to make sure you get a good quality product because anybody can say it's CBD oil right now and it's junk. So that's why we've done a lot of research to make sure we had the optimum manufacturing process.
We are going to reserve some from this order for Life Grocery, and we'll be reaching out to try to place that order tomorrow.
Okay, well, we do have them in stock, so it's there now. So if you want to
in
order
stock.
it,
It's on the website. We'll have new pictures for that product on the website and a video up by the end of the economy.
Esposito. He is on 95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
Hey folks, Dr. Joe here. So glad you're with us. Talking about CBD oil today. Boy, it's creating quite a stir. So if you have any questions, lines are open, 844-44 Dr. Joe. Not just about CBD oil, about anything really, about healthcare. And follow us on Facebook and Instagram. We live stream a lot of these. The website, drjoe.com. Well over 1,000 hours of podcasts there. And we want to get you well and keep you well. That's the whole purpose of doing this show. And my team of doctors, my team of chiropractors, we work on getting to the cause of your problem, not just treating the symptom. And if you have back pain, the number one treatment, the most effective, least expensive treatment for back pain is chiropractic care. So I would strongly advise you start there. And if this isn't something we feel we can help, we'll say, you know what, let's take you to a different doctor, different healthcare provider. But most of the time, we get amazing results. And if we don't, we always have these other doctors to go to. But it's the most effective, least expensive. Why wouldn't you do it? Makes absolutely no sense why people go to other doctors. Then the doctors end up ending up referring them back to us anyway. You know what, Joe, we can't help this one. You work on them. If you can't get it, then let us know. So in the Atlanta area, Marietta, Duluth, and Stockbridge, hopefully we're going to open up in Decatur and West Cobb really soon, too. So if you want to make an appointment to come see us, 844-44 Dr. Joe. Call the office. You can do it on the website, but I'd rather you call the office. My staff can give you more details because sometimes people do it on the website and they get confused. And just call the office, 844-44 Dr. Joe. So the THC is a cannabinoid that's found in marijuana. Now, THC is one of the main cannabinoids found in cannabis. Of course, that's what gets you high. And once it's in your body, THC interacts with your endocannabinoid system by binding to receptors. There's places where they can hook into the cells, just like the other endocannabinoids like CBD and about 100 other ones. And it's powerful because it can bind to both the CB1 receptors, which are in the brain and spinal cord, and the CB2 receptors, which are outside the brain and spinal cord. It's called the peripheral nervous system. This allows it to have a wide range of effects on your mind, some more desirable than others. So it's a powerful partly because it can bind to both of them, and it can actually stimulate your appetite. Now, that can cause a problem because it can also cause things like paranoia and anxiety in some people. That's why when you get high, you get the munchies and you get paranoid. So the THC is one of those cannabinoids that can affect the CB1 receptors in the brain and spinal cord and the CB2 receptors, which are outside. That's why it's so potent. And so the way it works, CBD doesn't get you high, and instead, we think it works with the endocannabinoid system by affecting everything except the part that gets you paranoid and affects the hunger. So you got to be. That's why we like this one better. We don't want you getting high and doing stupid things. So details on how they work and still under debate. Can you have an endocannabinoid deficiency? The answer is yes. You may be not naturally, but you may have a condition where you're not producing the endocannabinoids. 2016 article reviewing over 10 years of research on the subject suggests the theory could explain why some people develop migraines, fibromyalgia, irritable bowel syndrome. It could be, according to some researchers, that your body is not producing the proper endocannabinoids internally. Now, I'm going to argue with that article because I know as a chiropractor, and I've been doing this for decades now, that when people have migraines and they have fibromyalgia, in most cases, if we get the nervous system working properly, we get them on a good diet, we get to the cause of the problem, like I can't do caffeine. If I do caffeine, I get a headache. Well, does that mean my endocannabinoid system isn't working? No, it means I can't do caffeine. So Could there be a deficiency? Yes, but I don't want you falling back on that and saying, well, I have an endocannabinoid deficiency, and that's why I have my problems. No, you got to get to the cause first. Let's eliminate all the other options. Is it a pinched nerve? From a chiropractic standpoint, that's what we do all day, every day. Is it a digestive issue? Maybe you need digestive enzymes. Maybe we got to adjust or pull your stomach away from the diaphragm. Maybe we got to get you on supplements like Dr. Joe's Super Greens, Dr. Joe's Essential Source. A lot of people take Dr. Joe's nitric oxide support, opens up their blood vessels, and many report it helps lower their blood pressure, but it gives them a lot of energy, and a lot of people report it helps their headaches. So it's a vascular thing. So again, don't think CBD oil is the end-all, be-all. It's a good thing. That's why we have Dr. Joe's brand on the website, drjoe.com, but it's not going to be your end-all, be-all. So let's start taking some more questions here. 844-44-Dr. Joe if you have a question. Leslie, tell me about your kidney.
So it's just a close friend of mine. Her husband was diagnosed with stage 2 renal cancer just a couple of days ago, so he's going to have his kidney removed.
Yep.
And everybody's really brand new and just doing a lot of Googling and trying
Sure.
to figure out how to preserve the kidney that he has left.
Sure.
So I didn't know if you had any ideas or good points or whatever we could do just to help him.
Absolutely, yes. Number one, whenever somebody has a disease, whether it's asthma or cancer or whatever it is, I always want them to do some soul searching. I want to say, what did I do that led me to this state? Now, some people, it's genetics. I understand that. But what else was happening? Did he drink a lot of sodas? Did he eat a lot of animal proteins? Animal proteins put such a strain on the kidneys. It's insane how much stress it puts on there. Does he not drink enough water? Maybe he has a pinched nerve in his back going to the kidney. So what I would suggest is check the nerve supply for every case. That's always my open, my broad spectrum analysis is always check the nervous system. Got to get off the animal proteins. That's meat, butter, cheese, yogurt, eggs, ice cream. Got to cut them out. That's putting so much stress on the liver.
Everything.
Everything.
Okay.
Plant-based proteins, no effect on the kidneys. Animal proteins, major effect on the kidneys. Even the same amount. Like if you have 10 grams of protein, animal protein is different than plant-based proteins. I would recommend Dr. Joe's Super Greens and Dr. Joe's Essential Source because that alkalizes the system, along with 1,000 other things it does. And then he's really got to look at his diet. He's got to start eating more raw food. He's got to have a salad every day. He's got to have something raw with every meal. This way we hopefully prevent whatever he did that caused the cancer and take the stress off that one kidney.
Okay.
Make sense?
Okay, thank you so much.
All right,
yes,
Leslie,
I appreciate the information.
If he has any questions, have him call the office. Thanks a lot. And, folks, if you do have any questions, you can always send them through the website, drjoe.com, or you can call us right now at the studio, 844-44-Dr. Let's see. We just have a minute. So, Kathy, keep holding on. I'll come back to you after. Now, Kathy, you're going to have to hold on for a little bit because at the top of the hour, we're going to do something called Head to Toe with Dr. Joe. So hang on for a few minutes there, Kathy. I'm going to get to you. If you have any questions, folks, the lines are open, 844-44-Dr. Joe, DRJOE. We're talking today about CBD oil, how it works, why it works. Make sure you get a high-quality one. Make sure it's organic. I want you to get broad spectrum, not full spectrum. Full spectrum has a little bit of THC in it, and that's the endocannabinoid that has the psychoactive effects on it. That's why you get stoned. I'd rather get the broad spectrum. Make sure it's organic. That's why on our website, drjoe.com, we have our hemp oil with CBD in it, and that's where you want to go. We've got a real good product there, and so that's what I would suggest. Website has over 1,000 hours of podcasts as well. If you have any questions, send them to me through the website. And if you want to make an appointment, you can do it online to see us, but you can also just do it by calling us, 844-44-Dr. Joe. That's the way I like you to do it. Hey, I'm Dr. Joe Esposito. Tell your friends about the show. Don't go anywhere. We're going to be right back.
Thanks for calling 1-800-GOT-JOHN.
So what are we going to talk about in Head to Toe with Dr. Joe?
What was last time? Last time was the liver.
Liver with anti-Dr. Joe. Got no feedback on that.
Really?
Not positive or negative. Got nothing. I thought it was funny.
That was hilarious.
I know. Got nothing. What do you want to talk about? Kidneys?
We talk about kidneys.
Big day on kidneys. Might as well cover kidneys again. What the heck?
How to live without them.
How to live without your kidneys.
Without
How do
one.
I live without you? What? No. You can live without. You can live with one. Okay.
What song? What was that? What song was that?
How can I live without you? God, who did that?
Oh yeah. I know the song. I just don't know the artist.
I can't think who did it. One of these people knows.
At least every show you have some reference to an old song.
I live my life. I'm going to go a whole day one day with just quoting songs. I'm not going to say anything unless it's a line from a song.
I used to have conversations like that in high school.
See, the weird brains you and I have, yeah.
Well, I would just like send clips of songs.
Mhm.
That's just the title of the song is what I was trying to say.
No, I could quote songs. Everything's been said in songs, so we don't have to say anything ever. Just quote songs.
Okay,
All right.
I want to get off my SSRI.
Good.
Could this help while I do this with my doctor's advice, of course? The SSRI has caused a large weight gain. I would hope this would help.
Yes. We use the CBD, but I want you to go to our website, drjoe.com, and read the article that I wrote on ADD. It's not a drug deficiency. Just type in ADD or ADHD and read that article. And explains how the stomach's job is to take proteins and break them into amino acids. The amino acid tryptophan combines with vitamin B6 and creates a chemical called 5-HTP, and 5-HTP becomes serotonin. So with the SSRI, what we're trying to do is keep the serotonin active as long as possible in your brain. By fixing the digestive system, hopefully you'll be breaking down the proteins more efficiently and you'll just make more serotonin. And that's the goal, because you'll always be utilizing the little bit that you have unless you make more. And that's the approach we take when it comes to cases like yours. So if you want to come see us, we'd love to see you. We've had many, many patients over the years that we get them off a lot of their medications because we fix the cause, not just the symptoms. So if we can get your digestive system working, chances are you'll start producing more serotonin. Here's the thing with serotonin. 95% of the serotonin, 90 to 95% is used in your digestive system, not in your brain. So if there's a shortage of serotonin, your brain suffers. If we make more serotonin, the body's able to function more efficiently. So that's the approach I like to take, and in most cases, great results. So if you call the office, 844-44-Dr. Joe, hopefully we'll get some good results for you. Okay? I am going to have to do my liners.
You know, I was on SSRIs a long time ago.
And the adjustments help, right?
No. Oh, no. I mean, I was on SSRIs.
Adjustments didn't help?
Well before chiropractic.
Yes.
And I hated it.
Yeah. Okay. I'm Dr. Joe Esposito. This week we're talking about CBD oil. We're going to give you the ins and outs and the truth about CBD oil. Dr. Joe Esposito here. Dr. Joe Esposito here. This week on our show, we'll be discussing CBD oil. It's a hot topic, and we're going to give you all the information you need to know to pick the right one to make sure it works best. Hey, we're talking about CBD oil and what you need to know about it and the type that you need to take this week on the Dr. Joe Show. Okay.
Yeah, I took it for what I thought was like 2 or 3 months, and it turned out it had been a year.
Wow, really messed you up.
But then I did a lot of research into it, and who is it? Peterson is a famous psychologist.
Okay.
Talked about how Robert Peterson has talked about how it's misused in a lot of cases.
Yes.
There's 2 types of like the origin of depression or the origin of the issue.
Mm-hmm.
And if one of them is purely chemical, then of course it can help. But if it's not purely chemical, if your life just sucks.
Right, yeah.
then it
Right,
doesn't
yeah.
work. And my life just literally sucked at that point.
Okay, so it wasn't going to change your life,
Yeah,
right?
no.
Uh-huh. Do we get our new screen, by the way?
Yes.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yes. It's
Yep.
sitting on the shelf.
So
I keep passing it, moving stuff around between the offices.
If you give it to me, I'll throw it in a bag. It
Yes.
always comes with me. So, yeah, exactly right. If your life sucks, well, you got to work on your life then too. Yeah.
Yeah.
But by fixing the gut, the body works so much more effectively.
Yeah.
And I've had so many patients that are ADD and ADHD, and we fix the gut, and it's amazing.
Mhm.
We've had autistic patients and patients with a lot of brain damage, and it's just amazing when you fix the gut. It doesn't always heal everything, but usually ADD, ADHD is usually really simple to work with if you cover all the spectrum, this nervous system, digestive system, and nutrition. Any questions? I have 4 minutes.
Melinda said earlier, she said you use broad spectrum, and I missed why you said not full spectrum.
Full spectrum has the THC in it. And that's why I'd rather you don't do that, because if you ever get pulled over by the cops, and it can have a psychoactive effect. Some people are more sensitive than others, so that's why I'd rather not do the THC. I'd rather just do the full spectrum. The broad spectrum, not the full spectrum. I'm sorry. Yes.
Stephanie says that she lives in Coweta County. Any chance of opening an office down here?
Well, we got Stockbridge. That's probably as close as we are right now. The answer is maybe. We just need to continue to grow. And my big problem, is, to be honest with you, is getting really quality doctors. I have such a tough time getting doctors that I find good enough to, carry the Dr. Joe name. And so we have a lot of doctors apply for jobs, and I'm turned down major majority of them because I just don't think they're good enough. So that's the trick. So, but if you're south, you can go to Stockbridge, and Dr. Amy runs our Stockbridge office, and she's amazing. So everyone loves Dr. Amy. So Dr. Kat and Ryan run our Duluth office, and they're amazing. And then we have Dr. Sam and Dr. Irwin in Marietta office, and all the doctors work in Marietta office at least 1 or 2 days a week. So.
Some of these comments are showing up on my phone. And
We do need a lot of new doctors. Not a lot, but we need a couple new doctors.
I know. I've got 2 in mind. One applied a while ago, and her and her husband are going to move to Atlanta soon, and she blew me away. So I'm going to reach out to her. And also staff members. Folks, we need staff members. If you are an admin and you want to work and get people well, please send us your resume, because we do want to, if you know somebody too. But listen, just because you know them, and if they're not amazing, don't send our resume. People say, oh, it's my friend Barbara or my friend Tom, and you should talk to him. No, I shouldn't have talked to them ever. It's like a blind date. Just because somebody's a girl and a guy, maybe they shouldn't get together just because it's a blind date. Make sure there's a match there. So, all right.
Someone said hemp oil isn't as effective like CBD. People buy hemp oil thinking it's CBD. It is
correct. That is absolutely correct. Yes, that's what we said. Our CBD is in hemp oil, but hemp oil doesn't have the cannabinoids in it. That's why you have to have the CBD added to a carrier oil, and we use hemp oil because it has a natural symbiotic relationship. So, but you're right. Hemp oil is not CBD, correct. But that being said, the government looks like they're going to make, you won't be able to use the word CBD anymore. Is that, I'm saying that right, Garrett?
Yes.
Okay. So that's why we call ours hemp oil, because we're ahead of the curve, as we always are. But it has the CBD in it.
This essentially immortalizes the product. There's nothing they can really do going forward to try to come at or go after the product under the same, issues that we see with a lot of CBD oil products out there. And to work with one of the best manufacturers in the country, we're always taking several steps ahead.
Yeah, we're always ahead of everybody else. So. What else you got?
So, hemp oil is typically just hemp seed oil, and this is hemp seed oil, but it's hemp seed oil as a carrier for as the solution to bind CBD to.
Right.
And Instagram will be right back.
Okay.
We're caught up on Facebook right now.
You what?
We're caught up on Facebook for the moment.
Good.
Dr. Joe Esposito, brought to you on 95.5 WSB by Virtual Imaging.
The information presented on this program is not intended to take the place of your personal physician's advice, and it is not intended.
He's going to hopefully put it together. I didn't tell you about it, Karen.
He told me.
Yeah.
I like that, but you got to sing along.
We all got to sing along. Lewis is help us create that.
Dr. Oz himself has been nice enough to call in.
Hey, we're back from Dr. Oz this season.
He was a wonderful guest.
Not yet. I need to reach back out to them.
Yeah. Give yourself a note.
It's a little harder for us not to affiliate.
Yeah, I know. We'll give it one more shot. That's right. Soon people want to get on our, like already people want to get on our show. How many requests we get constantly to be on this show? Not allowed to have guests. My boss said I want 2 hours of you, Dr. Joe. That's what I want. I don't want other guests like that.
Best health and wellness show in the world.
You gonna leave yourself a note about Oz?
Stop
You're gonna forget.
needlessly.
Right.
Every day.
I know I'm right. I know you.
And say, Dr. Joe, why didn't I do this sooner? And my answer is, I don't know.
Hey folks, Dr. Joe here. That awesome opening. We'll talk about CBD oil. When we come back, we're going to do something first here. We're going to talk about the full spectrum versus a broad spectrum versus isolate, the difference and the different ways you can get it. But before we get into that, we have to do this.
Talking head to toe with Dr. Joe.
Okay, there we are. It's head to toe time with Dr. Joe. What we do in this segment, if you're new to the show, is we talk about a different part of the body. And we discuss how it works, why it works, and what you can do to make it work better. And Garrett, what do we want to talk about today? Do you have a topic you want me to cover today?
What did we do last time? We did the
liver last time.
Well, Anti-Dr. Joe.
Anti-Dr. Joe did the liver, yes.
Kidneys.
Yeah, we had a lot of kidney questions today, didn't we? All right, let's do kidneys today. Wave to my friend Renee. She's walking by the studio there. I was talking about kidneys. Now, you have two kidneys, and this is the thing with the body. The body has two of almost everything. Two lungs, two kidneys, the digestive system. You can take out pieces of the digestive system. People can still be alive. You can remove the gallbladder and people can live. You can remove the appendix. And years ago, we thought we can pull things out of the body, like the tonsils. When I was a kid, I always had a scratchy throat. So what they do is they took out my tonsils. Well, what we do, we removed one of the major immune organs. How stupid is that? Now, tonsil removal is not as popular as it used to be, thank God. Sometimes you need it done. I'm not saying you don't. But the reason I had so many problems when I was a kid is because I had a digestive problem and I always eaten wheat and dairy products. I had a horrible diet. And so because of that, I was always sick. And as I got older, I realized, well, fix the cause. The problem wasn't that I needed my tonsils taken out. Doesn't make any sense. Removing an organ instead of giving more, not less. So we can live without these things. But the kidneys, you can live with one. And also could be on dialysis if you want to. But what we want to do is preserve the kidneys. And there was an interesting study. I covered it a little bit earlier now that Garrett hit me with the kidneys here. But they did a study on plant-based protein versus animal protein. And they found when you eat animal protein, a dramatic impact on kidney function. And it really breaks down and can destroy the function of the kidneys. They did the same studies with the same amount of protein only from plants. No damage to the kidneys. And as I said earlier, I've been in practice a long time. I'm seeing so many patients come in with kidney failure, sometimes 3-4 a week. And I say, I'm in kidney failure. What do I do? And a friend of mine, he very large man, and he had diabetes and high blood pressure. So he went and got his stomach stapled. He had a piece of his stomach removed, and that was going to help him lose weight. And it did. He lost a ton of weight, almost a ton. He probably lost a couple 100 pounds, actually. And the diabetes got under control, which was spectacular. But here's where he went wrong. The doctor said you only have a little bit of a stomach, so you need to get a lot of protein. And so he was eating animal protein every meal. And then he comes to me a couple of months ago and says, I'm in stage 4 kidney failure. I said, Alan, that's tragic. And he said, yeah. I said, what do you think caused it? I said, you can't eat that much animal protein. And then it clicked in his head. Well, unfortunately, he had to have his wife had to donate a kidney, and he's still alive today. But all of that could have been avoided, I believe. I have no proof of this. This is my opinion. Had he not gone into this high animal protein diet. And had he gone to a more plant-based diet, he probably would still be fine. His wife would have 2 kidneys, and he'd have 2 kidneys. So number 1 is take the stress off the kidneys. Number 2, they got to work. Make sure you're drinking enough water. Now, if your renal doctor says opposite, follow their advice. But, folks, most of us don't drink enough water. And here's the thing with water. You have to drink enough water. I want you peeing about once every hour or 2. And that means you're drinking enough water. Now, I drink a lot of water up till about 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and then I cut back so that I don't have to wake up and pee in the middle of the night. But when you pee, it should be clear. It should not have an odor to it, unless you're eating things like asparagus. And it shouldn't have stuff floating around in it. So if you pee into a clear glass and look at it and smell it, I know that sounds weird, but you can actually monitor your own urine output. But if that urine is thick and if it has an odor to it, chances are you're just putting such a strain on those kidneys, and you can't keep doing that. The kidneys are going to eventually shut down on you. Now, the nerves that control the kidneys, and on a woman, it would be right below the bra strap in the upper low back or the lower upper back, lower middle back. That's the nerve supply to the kidneys. But the kidneys are also connected to the adrenal glands. And the adrenal glands produce over 50 different hormones. And they produce energy, they produce your sex hormones, and they control inflammation through something called prostaglandins. So I take Dr. Joe's adrenal support every day to make sure I'm supporting my adrenals, because as you get older, the adrenal glands do get weaker. And it helps with inflammation. It can help with allergies. So the adrenal support is something I feel is really important. I take every day. Super Green's Essential Source, Dr. Joe's omega-3s, because I need that for brain function and inflammation. We take the adrenal support every day. Vitamin B, I take a B complex. And whenever I have a cooked meal, I take Dr. Joe's digestive enzymes. And so I've been taking the CBD oil as well. And I have noticed, I think I feel better. I don't have any big issues right now. So taking the CBD oil is not going to say, oh, this is better. But I have noticed that my body's working better. I'm sleeping better. So all of those supplements are on the website, drjoe.com. And so if you're not going to do anything else, I recommend at least Super Greens and Essential Source, because they're loaded with minerals, and minerals can neutralize acids in the body. And that's the evil the evil component of your body that attacks the kidneys is the acids. And you got to cut out your coffee. You got to cut out your sodas, especially cola sodas with phosphoric acid in them, because that's just, you can't keep doing this stuff and expect to not have any damage. The body is eventually going to be damaged. And of course, you got to cut out the alcohol because that affects the kidneys and the liver. So folks, I'm Dr. Joe Esposito. When we come back, a lot more about CBD oil, how it versus THC, different ways you can take it. The kind I recommend, of course, is the Dr. Joe's oil on the website, drjoe.com. If you have any healthcare questions, give us a call, 844-44-DR-JOE, 844-44-DRJOE. That number rings through to my offices when I'm not on the air, so if you want to make an appointment to come see us, which you should, stop suffering needlessly. So many of you have back pain and neck pain and headaches and shoulder pain, and when you come, you say, why didn't I do this sooner? So stop suffering. Make your appointment right now. You can do it at drjoe.com or call us during business hours at 844-44-DR-JOE. We'll be right back. Back pain, shoulder pain, numbness, tingling, headaches.
Lots of promotion.
Maybe it's time to stop suffering and it's time to take action. If you're sick and tired of being sick and tired, why don't you come see me and my team of doctors, and let's see if you have a problem that we can help.
Do you need
Go to my website, drjoe.com, or call 844-44-DR-JOE.
Usually.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, if I start rambling, you just go, like you usually do, and I can shorten it up a little bit.
Make an appointment today so we can help get you well and keep you well.
All right.
Questions?
Nick earlier said he's, for the past few months, he's been meat-free other than poultry here and there. Thanks, Joe. Dr. Joe / Garrett.
There you go. / Lewis. I mean, Lewis is here too.
Yeah, I'm on.
So you don't eat meat, but you eat chicken. I've never seen a chicken bush. I have seen an eggplant. That joke. I had to work it in there, Nick. I had to get the eggplant joke in there. So.
We got something from Linda here. She says, Dr. Joe, 10 years ago, I had cancer in both my kidneys. I lost one and part of the other. I didn't realize animal protein was so harmful. Any more suggestions?
Basically what we've been talking about. Big topic on kidneys today. Wow. Super Green's an essential source. Absolutely. If you only have a piece of a kidney, you've got to take so much care of yourself. So no animal products. If it were me, I would do no animal products. I'd also do no wheat. Because wheat is an inflammatory food. It has the gluten in it, gliadin and glutenin, which causes an inflammatory reaction. So I would strongly advise you stay away from all wheat and all dairy. And for you, I'd stay away from all those 7 deadly sins. And if you're new to the show, those would be alcohol, meat, sugar, dairy, coffee, soda, and artificial sweetener. And I know that's what you're thinking. That's my whole diet. But artificial sweetener has to go. Sodas have to go. Meats and dairies have to go. Sugars have to go. You don't have a whole lot of parts left. And so you got to be really, really careful with that. And also take Dr. Joe's adrenal support because the adrenals help with anti-inflammatory reactions. So, Super Green Essential Source. And then omega-3s. Omega-3s are great for inflammation. And those are all on the website, drjoe.com. And Linda, I'd also recommend you come see us because you have a pinched nerve in the mid-back. That's the nerve to the kidneys. And you want to make sure that's working as well. So, especially you got to be extra special careful.
I just put in a note to start putting a show together for protein overdose.
Sure. That's a good topic there.
We get a lot about that.
Yeah, what's the number one question we get? What do you get your protein? I'm starving.
That's something I wasn't really aware of. I didn't know that you actually need less protein in your diet.
Yeah.
Everyone always harps on, how much
more
protein.
Well, it started with Joe Weider. He was the guy who had Muscle and Fitness magazine and everything, and he was saying you need more protein and protein and protein. Now, tomorrow, they're launching a movie. It's called Game Changers. And it's all about professional athletes that have gone to a plant-based.
Do you have a ticket yet?
Delma said she might get me a ticket, but I may have plans tomorrow night. I'm not sure. I'm waiting for a certain girl. I'm waiting for a certain girl to call me to see if I can take her out for her birthday. So.
And for her birthday, she wants to go to the Game Changers.
She wants to go to Game Changers, of course. Exactly. So. But the Game Changers, it's
Arnold Schwarzenegger, it's all kinds of athletes and stuff.
Yeah.
All on their path to
go to a plant-based diet and see dramatic improvement in their performance. So it's a cool movie. I hope I get to see it tomorrow night. So you need less protein, not more in most cases. Very seldom does somebody need more protein. But it started out with the bodybuilders. Oh, you know, muscles are protein. Take more protein, and they started taking all these protein, and it actually caused a lot of damage. So now things like Game Changers go to the opposite way.
Okay.
I've never understood people taking massive amounts of protein powders and stuff like that to bulk up.
Yeah, you can only use so much. Everything else is wasted. It puts stress on the kidneys, like Linda learned. So,
or what we found out, what I learned in the exercise show was all the talk on not eating before or after you work out.
Yeah.
But even still, if what you eat before or after is a steak, then you need 10 times more time before you work out or after you work out before you eat it.
Yeah, it's such a strain on the body. And that's why the studies are showing now, if you work out on an empty stomach, if you have to eat something, you have a little bit of plant protein to work out so you don't get dizzy. But working out on an empty stomach, you get a better result than working out on a full stomach. And then afterwards, no carbs for 3 hours afterwards because that shuts down human growth hormone production. So just eat well all the time. That's a simple solution.
Misty says, is it true that kidney is the size of a fist?
Yeah, about right.
Yeah.
I've eaten them already. Lamb kidneys, I remember when I was a kid. My German grandmother, liver and kidneys and tongue. And
does plant protein put stress on the kidneys?
No, that's the whole point. That's what we keep talking about. The animal protein is the one that puts the stress on the kidneys. Plant protein doesn't.
Double board certified in nutrition and has a BS in clinical nutrition and is a retired dietitian. Can you say overachiever? Dr. Joe Esposito on 95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
Hey folks, Dr. Joe here, talking about CBD oil today. Lots of good stuff on CBD. We're going to cover full spectrum and broad spectrum again because I know some of you just tuned in, but let's take some callers first here. Kathy, thanks for holding. How can we make your day better?
Hi, Dr. Joe. I'm calling because my husband has diabetic neuropathy in his left foot, and he's been suffering with it for about 3 months.
Sure.
And he's taken a nerve test, and it turned out abnormal because he was hurting so bad he couldn't complete the test.
Oh, wow, I understand.
Is there anything that we can do other than doing an MRI, or do he need to just go ahead and do the MRI and then?
Well, the MRI won't hurt him. I mean, the MRI, you don't feel anything when you have an MRI done. He can do the MRI. I think that's a good idea. But I want you to go to our website, drjoe.com, and I want you to type in diabetes. And I want you to listen to the show we did a couple of weeks ago on diabetes. Make sure he listens too, of course.
Okay.
I'd also recommend Dr. Joe's nitric oxide support to open up the blood vessels and increase circulation. But in most cases, and I've been doing this for a long time, probably since before you were born, Kathy, the pinched nerves in the low back are the nerves that control the feet. So most diabetic neuropathies, everybody tries to treat it chemically, but there's also a physical component, as there is with almost all pain. And so I'd recommend that you get to hopefully see us, and we'll check the nerves in the low back, open up the nerve supply. We'll do a dietary workup on them, listen to the show on diabetes. Super Green's essential source of nitric oxide right away to start, and then let's see if we can get to the cause of the neuropathy, not just treat the symptoms.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, see, there's a lot of hope there. Yeah, so make an appointment. Come see us. Yeah, dial a number you just dialed, 844-44 Dr. Joe during business hours, and then listen to the show on diabetes. How about that?
Okay, thanks a lot,
Thanks,
Dr.
Kathy.
Joe.
Appreciate the call. All right, if you have a question, 844-44 Dr. Joe. Gigi, how can we make your day better? Hello?
Hi.
Hi. Gigi, did I say it right?
Yeah, I'm right here. My husband has carpal tunnel syndrome and cubital tunnel syndrome, and the only option we got from all the doctors is surgery.
Sure.
So we were just wondering, if there are any remedies or anything to make it better or something like that.
Now, with carpal tunnel surgery, the carpal tunnel is the median nerve, and it runs down the middle of your hand. And many times there's a bone in your wrist called the hamate bone. And the hamate bone has a little hook on it. And what I find many times with carpal tunnel is the hamate subluxates or misaligns backwards. When it drops down, it hooks the median nerve. So many times we can, from a chiropractic standpoint, adjust the hamate hook there and try to get the stress off the median nerve. Then we want to check the nerves in the neck because that's where the median nerve comes from the neck. So many times people have carpal tunnel surgery, it doesn't work because the problem is a pinched nerve in the neck, not in the wrist. So I would adjust the wrist, the elbow, the shoulder, and the neck to see if we can get to the cause of the carpal tunnel. Because sometimes the surgery is helpful, sometimes it's not. But if we can fix it without the surgery, that would be the approach I'd like to take. So why don't you bring
Yeah,
it?
even we are looking for that approach as well.
Perfect. So,
but none of the doctors are suggesting that.
Well, that's not their job. They don't understand how to do this because that's not what they do. That's what we do. That's why you call me. So, yeah, dial the number, 844-44 Joe. Dial that tomorrow during business hours. We'll get you set up an appointment right away, and we'll check it. If it's something we think we can help, we'll tell you. If not, we're going to tell you that too. Is that fair?
Okay.
All
Yes,
right.
that's fair.
Thanks
Thank
so
you
much.
so much.
I'll see you soon. And, folks, that goes for all of you. If you have neck pain, back pain, shoulder pain, numbness, tingling, headaches, stop suffering. Okay, every day. Not every day. Every 10, 15 minutes, one of the patients in one of our offices says, why didn't I do this sooner? You know, Dr. Joe, I hear you say that all the time, and now I realize what you're saying. So get to the cause of the problem. And here's the thing, too. If you've ever been in a car accident, ever, if the car was damaged, you were damaged 100% of the time. You are not stronger than your car. And pain can show up to 6 months after a trauma. And by then, the insurance companies are like, we ain't paying you. They don't want to pay you if you come the next day after an accident. So as soon as you get in an accident or anyone you know, come see us right away because that's the key. You got to document. The insurance companies are always looking for ways to get out of pain. That's their job. Our job is to not give them any reason that they can do that or any way out. So if you've been in a car accident ever, come see us as soon as possible. Even if it's 50 years ago. Don't wait to 50 years in one day. Come see us and let's get to the cause of the problem. So if you have pain, for you, your friends, your family, your children, just come see us. It's silly not to because you're suffering needlessly in most cases. So to make an appointment, 844-44 Dr. Joe. You can do it on the website if you want to, but if you call, my staff can explain everything to you. It's a little easier. So, and on the website, over 1,000 hours of podcast. All the supplements we talk about, they're on the website. Super Greens Essential Source, the CBD oil. It's called hemp oil on our website. All on the website, drjoe.com. So, what kind of CBD oil do you want? We brushed on it briefly, but I know a lot of people tune in and out, so I want to make sure we cover this. There's full spectrum, there's broad spectrum, and there's isolate. Don't use the isolate. There's over 100 different cannabinoids. Those are the chemicals that are found in CBD, in hemp, and in marijuana that affect the body. They affect the endocannabinoid system. So these chemicals are endo, meaning inside the body. Exocannabinoids would mean you'd get it from an external source like the CBD oil. So full spectrum probably has some THC in it, 0.3% if it's hemp oil. If it's CBD, full spectrum, coming from the hemp plant, you're going to have about 0.3%. Some people are very sensitive. And so even that 0.3% can have a psychoactive reaction. Marijuana, which is THC, has up to 30% THC in it. CBD has 0.3%. So that's why you want to go with the CBD. And you're going to get similar effects without the psychoactive effects. You want to go with the broad spectrum because the broad spectrum has the THC taken out. So that's what I recommend. That's what we have on our website, drjoe.com. The oil I find is the best. The CBD oils are the most potent and unprocessed form of cannabidiol. CBD is cannabidiol. There's tinctures, not so great. Capsules, it's another way to do it. Powders, topicals. You can do the CBD topicals because the skin is a sponge, and anything that comes in contact with your body can be absorbed. But I'd also recommend, if you're going to do the CBD route, that you also take the internal CBD oil. And the one on our website, the Dr. Joe version of it, it's fine. It doesn't have any bad flavor to it, but it's going to take time to work. You have to build up your levels of the CBD in the body, of the cannabidiol. And the other cannabinoids, again, THC is a cannabinoid, CBD is a cannabinoid, there's a bunch of others too. So it's not going to be a one and done. You have to take it for a couple of days to build up the levels in your body. Now, research is still being conducted, but there are some side effects. CBD may also raise the levels of certain medications in your blood. So if you're taking medications, make sure you check with your doctor before you take the CBD oil. And when choosing a CBD product, make sure it's a reputable company. Make sure it's organic, and we have all of that on the website. So if it's not organic, it may have a lot of pesticides in it. And when they concentrate down the chemicals, they can also be concentrating down the pesticides as well. When we come back, we'll take some more calls at 844-44 Dr. Joe, and they're going to give you benefits of CBD oil. Why do you even use CBD oil? Things that it might help you work with, including anxiety, pain, and again, as a chiropractor, we deal a lot with pain patients. If you have a question, 844-44 Dr. Joe, our website to order supplements, make appointments, listen to shows we have. drjoe.com, drjoe.com. I'm Dr. Joe Esposito. We'll be right back.
Did you know that 1 in 8 Americans struggle with hunger? Yet more than
All right. What you got? Now everybody gets excited.
I have a math problem here for you.
Oh, I'm from New Jersey.
Okay.
I'm not smart.
Woodchuck.
Yeah, that's
Misty says plant equals hops. Hops equals beer. So salad equals beer?
correct. Give it to your rabbits. Give the rabbits some beer. See what happens. Misty the wise guy, eh?
Yeah.
She's a son of a gun. Misty's one of our regular viewers, by the way, in case you don't know who Misty is. She's one of our regulars, so we always have fun with Misty. And we have permission to pick on Misty. She sent us written permission to pick on Misty at any time we want to. So
I'm not going to pick on that, though. I love that logic. In that case, all this week, I'm having liquid salad for lunch.
Yeah?
That's right. There you go.
Yeah.
It is a plant-based.
Well, we were at the event the other day, and so you had some grapes. Sierra had grapes. Sierra had grapes. You had potatoes. Vodka? Did you have vodka?
What did I have at the event? No, I had beer.
You had beer. Oh, so you had up.
She had wine.
Okay, yeah, that's what I say. She had grapes, and you had the.
She had a lot of wine.
The Misty thesis. The, yes, the Misty plan here. So
She could write a dissertation about that.
yes.
Someone was
Are
asking.
we going to give out a coupon code? Not on this round of CBD, but on the next round, I believe we'll have.
Yeah, this is a very limited amount we have. So if you want the CBD, you better order it because Garrett, he's being cheap. He's only ordered a bunch. So
This is the first order that I could get from them, and it's not as big as what I would hope for it to be.
yeah, so because it's so highly, it's such a good quality product that we couldn't order a whole bunch of it. So we got to get it. Got to get it where we can. Yes, Mr. Luis.
Someone wanted to know about rice in regards to the 7 deadly sins.
It's okay. Make sure it's organic, but don't eat a lot of it. 'Cause it's still a carbohydrate. But if you've ever listened to the show, we haven't done the show in a while. I wonder if it's on the website. It's called resistant starches. That if you eat a starch like a potato or rice and you refrigerate it overnight and then eat it cold or at room temperature, you absorb about 80% less carbohydrates. It's called a resistant starch. And what doesn't get absorbed goes into your small intestine and becomes a probiotic. It actually feeds the bacteria in your colon. So if you're going to eat rice, it's better to put it in a refrigerator and eat it at room temperature the next day. Make sure it's organic. But if you're going to eat a little bit of rice, which I do sometimes, it's okay.
And you mentioned black rice before, right?
Yes.
Black rice is
more higher nutritional value. Yeah. The darker the colors, traditionally in any food, is going to have more nutritional value. So.
Sheila wants to know, what is gluten?
What is gluten? Gluten is a protein. It's found in a lot of different products. Wheat, corn. There's corn gluten. There's rice gluten. That's why you have glutinous rice, which sticks together for sushi. So gluten is a protein that makes things stick together. In wheat, the gluten contains gliadin and glutenin. These are the two proteins that are found in gluten. And we have a reaction to those proteins because we don't have the enzymes to break down the gliadin and glutenin. And so now the immune system has to kick in, and there's an inflammatory reaction that occurs when you put these foreign proteins into the body, and that causes the inflammatory reaction. So gluten is a protein, if you want to get a simple explanation, that makes things sticky and hold together. And the weak gluten is the bad kind. What else?
Gluten is good.
Gluten is good. Gluten
like,
tastes good.
I like gluten.
Ain't gonna lie to you.
I do.
It's like atomic
So
bomb.
does that have a reaction on like estrogen? And like that's why certain foods build up belly fat more than others?
Indirectly it would because of an inflammatory reaction, but it's not a direct reaction to estrogen, no.
Just figured if there were certain foods that were catalysts for that.
No, just eating bad food. Sugar is broken into glucose. Glucose is used as fuel. Once the cells are all filled up with glucose, it converts it to glycogen. Glycogen is where we store our fuel. And once all glycogen stores are filled up, it converts into triglycerides, which then gets stored as fat. So that's the process of breaking down carbohydrates, and triglycerides are the things that eventually get stored in the fat cells. And the reason you get belly fat is you have something in here called the omentum, the greater and lesser omentum. And it's looks like an apron, and it has fat cells in it. And so what happens is these fat cells fill up and you get fat. You don't have like the greater and lesser omentum like in other areas of the body. You do have fat cells, but you actually have a layer to protect the organs, and that's why you have the omentum there. So, boy, there's a flashback to anatomy from many years ago.
I'm not sure what this is. Claudia asks, what does Catalin do? C-A-T-A.
Catalin. Catalin is a product. The standard process is to manufacture And what we do is we give people Catalin it has some animal products in it, but Catalin it's super high concentration of vitamins, minerals, and nutrients. And when people have had a bad diet for a long time, we want to get caught up for lost time. So Catalin, we give you a high concentration, usually for a round or two, a session or two, just to get the body caught up for nutrients. So that's what Catalin does. But that's a brand name. So
I'm liking this momentum. So as I put on weight over the next 20, 30 years, I'm just getting more protected.
That's exactly right. It's your guard around there.
All right,
or you
Dr.
could
Joe.
not have a momentum issue. So
I have 3 kids. Not me.
Okay.
I don't know what I would do.
Wow.
At this point. Can't
Like the
take care
joke.
of
My mother had
myself.
3 kids, one of each.
And been to several pediatricians. All of them push the flu shot and make me feel guilty that I don't believe in it. How do you combat that?
Mercola.com has a lot of good information on vaccines, including the flu shot. My personal feeling is I don't do a flu shot. I will never do a flu shot. And if you do things like Dr. Joe's vitamin D, seasonal tonic, wellness booster, can you still get the flu? Yes, but if you keep the body healthy, you're less likely to get the flu. I'm not a fan of the flu shot after seeing some of the side effects that I've seen. But it's always your call. It's always your decision what you do with vaccines.
You can always throw the statistics at them. Because I remember last year's statistics for the flu vaccine for how well it worked was like you were 30% less likely to get it.
Yeah. And I think I saw a study with vitamin D. If you keep your vitamin D levels up, it's like the same reaction to the flu shot of risk of getting the flu. So again, I'm not saying you need to do that. Always you decide when it comes to flu vaccines, but it's my opinion.
And don't let them make you feel bad. You're the
patient. If they don't want to, right, you're in charge.
Yeah.
And if the doctor doesn't like you, well, they go find another doctor. I've had patients come to me and they don't want to hear what I have to say, so they go somewhere else. And that's okay. I'm not going to change my philosophies and my understanding of science. So hard to argue with science.
We have offices in Marietta, Duluth, and Stockbridge. Make an appointment today so we can help get you well.
Falcons are up?
Yeah.
The preeminent leader in healthcare.
That's me.
Dr. Joe Esposito is on 95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
Hey folks, Dr. Joe here. So glad you're with us today. We're talking about CBD oil. Big topic, man. Everybody's talking about it. We have one on our website, drjoe.com. Of course, that's a version I recommend because I've done a lot of research into CBD oil. And we want to find out what the best manufacturing products available. And that's the one we have on our website, in my opinion, drjoe.com. So we're going to talk about what things you might want to consider using CBD oil for, but let's start taking some callers first. Mike, how can we make your day better?
Hey, Dr. Joe. I'd just like to call and get your opinion on statins. Had a heart attack like 8 years ago. Been going to cardiologist every quarter since then, and everything's fine. I mean, all the tests every time is great. But it seems like my loss of muscle tissue and the skin wrinkling and all that stuff seems like it's deteriorated since I started taking statins.
Of course it is. Yeah.
What's going
on?
What's your opinion?
Yeah. The statins, the way they work is there's an enzyme in your liver that produces cholesterol. That same enzyme produces something called coenzyme Q10 or CoQ10. Now, CoQ10 in the body is made in the liver, and it goes into the cells, and it makes the mitochondria produce energy. The mitochondria in the cell is the part of the cell. It's like the little powerhouse, little engine in the cell. So if you have low CoQ10 levels, the body can't produce energy, and so the cells become weak. And so one of the things I always say, if you're going to take statin drugs, I strongly advise you take CoQ10 as well. Now, once people start taking it, they start to say, Doc, I started feeling better. I had more energy. My muscle mass started to feel better. So I'd strongly advise a really high-quality CoQ10. We don't have a Dr. Joe brand of CoQ10. The second thing is, if you go to a plant-based diet, and you start, Dr. McDougall proved this over and over and over again. If you research Dr. McDougall and heart disease, that heart disease is reversible in most cases with a plant-based diet. So I know you had your heart attack, and I'm with you, but I want to prevent you from having another heart attack. And it's not that your body was low in statin drugs. It's that you probably had a bad diet or you didn't take care of yourself. You had stress. So I would advise going to a plant-based diet, absolutely positively, starting now. Getting on the CoQ10. Again, I'm not your medical doctor. I can't tell you to take drugs or not take drugs. But if you can get everything under control, then you could hopefully say, hey, doc, can I come off these statin drugs? Everything is better now. And then let's see what he says. But if you research Dr. McDougall and heart disease, he's got it all laid out for you on a plant-based diet, and then the CoQ10. And then Super Green's an essential source, of course. That goes without saying. You should be on that. And also, I'm going to recommend, I didn't say this in the show, vitamin D. Every time I do a study on vitamin D or research vitamin D, it does something more amazing. And it's really important for heart function and brain function and immune function. So on the website, drjoe.com, we have a real easy, inexpensive vitamin D you can take as well.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
My pleasure. Yeah, folks, it's so important, especially as the seasons change. You got to get your vitamin D levels up. We do a test in our office. It's called a micronutrient test. And you can come in. We send you out for blood work. And we can test the micronutrients. And one of the things we test for is vitamin D. Now, we can add on to that. If you have a hormone condition, we can also do a hormone panel. But the micronutrient test is really cool because it pretty much tells you these are the nutrients that your cells don't have in them, and we got to get them in there. But I would strongly advise you take vitamin D from the end of summer until the beginning of summer, like for 3 seasons, because most of us are deficient in vitamin D. And it started out at 600 international units was recommended. Now I say about 5,000 international units, and the most recent research I saw is saying 8,000 international units. So 5,000 international units of vitamin D is 5 drops of the Dr. Joe vitamin D. So I take it every day. I think you should too, because we're just not out in the sun like we should be. And we need to be. In fact, I was out in the sun the other day with a buddy of mine, and he said, when was the last time you were out in the sun for like more than 10 minutes? And I thought, except for driving, I can't remember it. Now, I do drive. I have a sunroof, a moonroof, whatever it is. I open it up. I put my arms out. I roll up my sleeves. I try to get as much sun as possible, but you need to be out in the sun a lot, and we're not. So vitamin D is really, really important. So that's one of the things I take as well in the non-summer months is vitamin D, along with, of course, the minimum Super Green's an essential source. Now, what I do is I mix it up with some coconut milk or almond milk. I think it tastes great. You could always mix it up with a frozen banana or some berries. I was talking to a friend of mine yesterday, and her husband hopefully is going to start taking it, I think, today. They may be listening right now, as a matter of fact. And I said, you can try it with a frozen banana, and that makes it a little, maybe more fun for somebody, but just mix it up with coconut milk or almond milk and shake it up and drink it. I can't imagine a day going by that I wouldn't do that. If you have any questions, give us a call, 844-44-Dr. Joe. Franco, how can we make your day better?
Yes, Dr. Joe. I wanted to get your advice, please, on supplements for a friend of mine, my roommate, actually. He has very bad gas.
Sure.
What do you recommend?
Hot topic today. Somebody else called about that earlier. When you have bad gas, that's a symptom. That's telling you something's wrong. You're not digesting your food properly. So a couple of things, you could just look at the diet and see what's causing it. Wheat and dairy products oftentimes cause a lot of gas. So a simple test you can do is just cut out the wheat and the dairy for a week or two and see if that helps, and then put it back in your diet and see if it blows you up again. We have something on the website called Dr. Joe's Digestive Enzymes. Excuse me. And I recommend he take that with every meal, because as we get older, our digestive enzyme levels drop. So unless you're eating something that's all raw, like a salad, I recommend Dr. Joe's Digestive Enzymes. And in most cases, that helps the gas tremendously. And the other thing we want to look at is, does he have acid reflux or heartburn or chronic cough or sinus problems? That could be a sign of acid reflux coming up into the throat. And that means the food isn't being digested properly, so it goes into the small intestine partially digested, where essentially it rots, and that gives off the gases too. So from a supplement standpoint, Super Green's essential source in digestive enzymes. Try cutting out like wheat and dairy, see if that helps. But if he does have heartburn or burping, you need to bring him in so he can work on his stomach as well.
Yes, it is very difficult for me to bring the ladies over to my house.
Oh, sure, I could understand that. All right, so okay. All right, Frank, I got to run. I got another call here, but make an appointment for your friend and get those supplements on the website, drjoe.com. Folks, if you have a healthcare question, 844-44-Dr. Joe. So we're talking about what CBD oil does. And one of the things, of course, the most popular one is for pain relief. And it seems to be working pretty well for that. It's not an end-all, be-all. I don't think it works as well as drugs. I think drugs work more effectively, but drugs have a lot of side effects. And once again, the CBD oil, the drugs, they don't get to the cause of the problem. They're just treating the symptoms. But there were studies, they did studies on CBD injections on rats, and they found it reduced inflammation, sciatic nerves, pain was reduced. So for pain-wise, CBD can definitely be part of a pain control system. And I'm board certified in pain management. I'm the only chiropractor in the state, as far as I know, board certified in pain management. And so when I get invited to a lot of pain management doctors' clinics, because they want to do business with me, of course, but then also they have questions. Hey, what would you do for a case like this? Because many times in the medical world, all you have is medicine or injections or surgery, and they're kind of stuck. If that doesn't work, then what do we do from there? So many times patients will send them, doctors will send them to our offices and say, let's see if we can get to the cause of the problem before we get any more aggressive. So the CBD oil now is something you might want to add to your repertoire, but again, I'd recommend it along with chiropractic care, not instead of. We're going to talk about other things that CBD might be able to help. If you have any questions, it's the last segment. 844-44-Dr. Joe is the number here, 844-44-DRJOE. If we don't get you on the air, you can always email your questions through the website, drjoe.com, and I'm more than happy to answer your questions as well. If you want to make an appointment to come see us, which I think you should, it's on the website. You can do that right there at drjoe.com. I'm Dr. Joe Esposito. We'll be right back. Does this sound like you? Neck pain, back pain, shoulder pain, headaches? Chances are you'd benefit from chiropractic care. Most people benefit from chiropractic care because chiropractic care tries to get to the cause of your problems and not just cover up the symptoms. If you're ready to get well, I want you to go to my website, drjoe.com, or call 844-44-Dr. and make an appointment for you, your friends, and your family today. We have offices in Marietta, Duluth, and Stockbridge. Make an appointment today so we can help get you well and keep you well.
Cool. All right, what do you got? Last segment.
Hello, Dr. Joe.
Hello.
I have developed a bad anxiety to flight on airplanes and have been considering taking CBD before getting on the plane.
Uh-huh.
Do you think this is a good idea?
I would try it before you do that. Don't do it right before getting on a plane. Try it for a few weeks, and see if it helps anxiety overall. And then you can get on a plane. But whenever you fly, I always say don't change anything, because your barometric pressure changes are dramatic in planes. Of course, if you have anxiety, you're in a metal tube flying through space. So I would try it way before that, and see how you do with it. And then if you're doing okay, then you could use it. Yes. What else? Luis?
Going back to the flu shot, a lot of people said they got the full-blown flu right after getting it.
And they always say that can't happen. Tell that to the person who gets the flu. I mean, I've seen it happen time and time again. Yeah. So.
Yeah.
What else?
I also heard good quality CBD is expensive.
Yes.
What other natural remedies would you suggest?
For the
being
flight?
calm on a plane.
Oh, being on a plane. Meditation is great. I'd recommend taking up some meditation classes. You can go online and do it now. I studied transcendental meditation years and years ago. But meditation is very good. So when you're on the plane, you can close your eyes and get into that deep meditative state, and that works very well. Also, stay away from excitatory foods like alcohol, meat, sugar, dairy, coffee, soda, artificial sweetener, breads, cookies, cakes, donuts, pastas. Don't do alcohol. Alcohol has a dramatic effect at heights with the barometric pressure change. And don't do artificial sweeteners, because aspartame has been shown to cause tunnel vision on airplanes. And that can cause a lot of anxiety. So don't drink diet sodas or chew sugar-free gum or anything like that on the plane. But how much is the CBD oil now?
$45.95.
$45.95 for a bottle. So $44.95 for a bottle. It is expensive, but it works really well. That's why we got the top of the line. My grandfather always taught me, always buy the best. It's always cheaper. So that's what I'd recommend for that. And eat light, very, very light before a plane flight. Salad, maybe some fruits. Don't eat heavy because it's a lot of stress on the digestive system flying. So, and people do have more gas on airplanes, by the way, because as the pressure drops, the air in your colon expands. So you want to be polite to your fellow flyers. So
I've definitely taken on a few of those airplane bottles with me.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, it kicks in quick, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Is agave okay?
No. Fructose converts into uric acid in your liver, and uric acid prevents nitric oxide production, which increases your circulation, which is why nitric oxide is our #2 selling product. Now, plain old table sugar is half fructose and half glucose, and the fructose has to be converted into glucose. High fructose corn syrup, we've heard how bad that is. That's 55% fructose. So regular sugar is 50% glucose, fructose. High fructose corn syrup is 55%. Agave nectar is 85% fructose. So much more fructose, so much more stress on the liver, so much more uric acid production, so less production of nitric oxide. So agave nectar is bad.
Beth says she's 64 and her hormones are low. She's had all kinds of blood tests and everything else comes back normal.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have any suggestions for that?
I would do the micronutrient test at our office because that tests things that nobody else tests. And I would add on to that a hormone panel. And then from there, you can do women's hormone support. You can do that right away. It's on the website, drjoe.com. The female hormone support, and that's going to give you something called DHEA, which is your building blocks for your hormones. So I'd get on the women's hormone support right away. Come see us for and if you're local, we can do it. If not, we can ship you the kit. Let's do the micronutrient test with the hormone panel added to it. Make sure you order that. That's separate. And let's see where we are. Then we'll have better information.
I've been taking that estrogen regulator, the freebie that I got once a day. So hopefully
good.
I'll see how that...
It prevents your diamethane from the testosterone. The diamethane prevents testosterone from converting into estrogen. So,
yeah, I'm crying a lot lately.
No, it's the other way around. It's getting tougher. Get more testosterone.
Yeah.
Exact opposite of that. What else you got? Nothing else for me? Coming back soon, so.
Looks like we're about caught up.
Good.
Yeah, Misty says she gets anxiety just thinking about flying in a plane.
I sleep on planes.
I can't.
I fall asleep before the plane even takes off.
I can't. I've tried, even across the ocean and stuff. Head bounces.
Before I came here, I was flying once or twice a month.
Dr. Joe Esposito. He's on 95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
Hey, folks, Dr. Joe here. Talking about CBD oil today. Hot topic, obviously. And what it's used for is what we're getting into now. But let's take another caller here. David, how can we make your day better? You there, David?
Hey, Dr. Joe. How are you?
I'm very happy you called today, David.
Good. Met you a couple weeks ago in your store while I was picking up some of your greens and essential source.
And how you like it?
I have a question. I like it. I just tried the mint one yesterday. I really like it.
Excellent. Good.
My question is about restless leg syndrome. I suffer with that terribly.
Uh-huh.
And I'm on a medication right now that I would give up everything else I have to take just to make sure I have that at night so I can rest.
I understand, yeah. Restless
now,
legs.
we are planning on coming into season doing a whole bunch of stuff, but
right. Okay.
Right now, just thought I'd give a call.
Sure. Well, restless leg syndrome is almost always related to pinched nerves in the low back. The nerves in the low back control everything from the waist down. Back pain, leg pain, hip pain, muscles in the leg. It also controls the colon, the sex organs, and the bladder, those nerves. So you might start to see things like gas, bloating, diarrhea, constipation, urinary, sexual problems. Everything from the waist down is affected by that low back nerve. And the reason it usually kicks in at night is because during the day, you're standing, you're moving, and the muscles are locking everything in place. You lay down, the muscles relax, the bones put more pressure on the nerves, or there's an inflammatory reaction or a chemical reaction, and those nerves get irritated, and so it starts firing off neurological impulses into the leg, causing the leg to twitch. So in most cases, when we fix the nerves in the low back, that helps the restless leg syndrome. You already started the Dr. Joe Super Greens and Essential Source, which, of course, everybody should be taking, and that's going to help out.
And the nitric oxide, too.
And the nitric oxide, which is great, opens up the blood vessels. So hopefully you're going to see some chemical reaction from that, but now we got to fix the physical part as well. So if we fix the chemical and the physical, you should be fine.
Okay. Yeah, I've had 2 back surgeries in the lumbar.
Well, there you go.
And, I'm sure that hasn't helped.
I'm sure that's probably a contributing factor.
It was happening well before that, but I probably had lots of issues until the day everything went south.
Exactly, yeah. So when you come see us, hopefully we'll be able to stabilize that low back for you. Keep with the Super Greens Essential Source and Nitric Oxide, and we'll see you soon.
Very good. Thank you, sir.
Thanks, Dave. Appreciate the call. All right. Yeah, that's the thing with chiropractic, folks. It's I believe it's the missing link in healthcare because so many patients come to us and say, I've tried this, and this. Nothing else is working, or this worked a little bit, But no one seems to check, except for the chiropractors, the nerves that go to the organs. 90% of your nerves don't feel pain. So you can have a pinched nerve 90% of the time and not know it. And then we add the good nutrition, minimum. Super Greens and Essential Source. Again, vitamin D, especially if it's not a summer month. I take omega-3 fatty acids for brain function. People say to me all the time, how does your brain do what it does? How do you just answer questions one after another? I take care of my brain. I'm not smarter than you. I just take good care of my brain. Nitric oxide is great for circulation. I take that on a regular basis. And I take, several supplements every day, and it works. You know, my boss said to me the other day, he thought I was 16 years younger than I am. And I went, I'm glad he thought that. He says, whatever you're doing, man, keep doing it. I said, yep, it works well. So if you get the nervous system working, get the digestive system working, if you have acid reflux, we can actually adjust the stomach and the small intestine and the large intestine, and we get the diet straightened out. In most cases, people are thrilled with the results. And the very few times that patients aren't happy is because they didn't follow our advice. Well, I came in twice and it didn't help. How long you had the problem? 30 years. I'm not that good. It may take a little longer than that. So if you want to make an appointment, we work with most insurance companies, car accidents, sports injuries. Just go to our website, drjoe.com, or better yet, just call us at 844-44-DR-JOE during business hours, and we'll get you set up for an appointment as soon as possible. We have offices in Marietta, Duluth, and Stockbridge. We want to get you well and keep you well, and we've got a plan for you. You just have to come let us do it. All right, so other things you might be able to use CBD oil for. Can reduce anxiety and depression. Somebody's asking at the break about airplane flights. The answer is yes, probably. But I wouldn't do something right before a flight or right before something stressful. Take it for a couple of days. Take it for a couple of weeks. Build up the levels of the cannabinoids and the cannabidiol specifically in CBD, which is the chemical that has the effect in your body before you get on a plane trip. So anxiety, depression, usually treated with pharmacological measures, which can cause a number of side effects like drowsiness, agitation, insomnia, sexual dysfunction, and headaches. Benzodiazepines can be abused. You can become addicted to them. CBD oil has shown promise in both depression and anxiety, and there's a lot of research going on in this area right now. But the other thing I find with anxiety is there's almost always a digestive component. Your stomach has to dissolve proteins or digest proteins into amino acids, and amino acid tryptophan becomes serotonin in your brain, and serotonin is your happy, calm down neurotransmitter. And if you're not digesting your food properly, if you have burping and gas and acid reflux and chronic cough, many times we're able to adjust or pull the stomach down away from the diaphragm. From a chiropractic standpoint, we also adjust the spine to open up the nerve supply. And then we get you on digestive enzymes like Dr. Joe's digestive enzymes. Supergreen's an essential source. One of the things in there is digestive enzymes. And now we're giving the body the raw materials and the capability to produce the neurotransmitters. And in so many cases, anxiety, depression, ADD, ADHD, even a lot of autistic patients. Patients bring their autistic children to us. And now with them, the process is usually a little slower. But in most cases, we get amazing results. And that's a non-surgical, non-drug approach. Sometimes you need surgery. Sometimes you need medication. I'm not against that. But I always want to get to the cause of the problem. And in most cases, people like that. That's, I'm assuming, why you're listening to the show. It can alleviate cancer-related symptoms. And this is what a lot of research has gone into with CBD. Because many times if you're on chemotherapy, you lose your appetite. And the CBD can actually help with the appetite and normalize appetite. Those treated with an extract containing both compounds, THC and CBD, and the THC is what we find in the pot, what they found was they experienced significant reduction in pain compared to those who received only the THC. So again, the CBD comes from the hemp. The THC comes from the pot. They're similar plants. They're not exactly the same, though. And they found that the CBD worked better than the THC, which is found in pot, which is kind of cool. And so that's why it's might going to be something you might want to consider if you are going through chemotherapy. Can reduce acne. There's some studies showing that it might be able to reduce acne. However, whenever I see an acne patient, I always think of the liver. And so we got to look at the diet and get the diet straightened out. And then we got to check the nervous system, get the digestive system working so you can break your food down so you don't have the flare-up of liver issues. So if we can get the liver working and the digestive system working and the nervous system working, chances are that's going to get to your acne as well. A lot more to cover. Don't have time. If you have any questions, send them to me through the website, drjoe.com. If you want to make an appointment to come see us, which you should. Neck pain, back pain, shoulder pain. If you've ever been in a car accident, ever, if the car was damaged, you were damaged, go to my website, drjoe.com, drjoe.com, or just call us at 844-44-DR-JOE. We want to get you well and keep you well. Folks, I'm Dr. Joe Esposito. Thanks for listening. Thanks for telling your friends about the show. Again, the website, drjoe.com. And we will talk to you next time.
All right, social media. Thank you. We appreciate you being here. If you're on Instagram, follow us on Facebook, vice versa. Tell your friends about the show. We have another live lounge coming up sometime in November. We'll give you more details as that comes around. And hope to see you at the office soon.